Welcome, body odor sufferers. I have this simple question to ask. How many times have you walked off your job? I wanted to ask this question before I actually quit my job, but now I just have to ask it. I already actually did a video before, but it just, the quality didn't come out right, the sound. I did it outside and the sound was muffled. But I still want to ask this question. How many times have you ever walked off your job? I know when I was still working at the current or the previous job I had, there was many a times where I thought, considered to just get up and get the fuck out the job. Cause fuck these people, they don't treat me with respect, and I don't feel like I need to even stay here, especially if I don't feel like I'm being appreciated for the work I'm contributing. So I always wanted to ask that. I've only walked off a job once in my life, and that was the Fresh Market. And if anybody has never heard of the Fresh Market, it's basically a knockoff Whole Foods grocery store. Except like their angle is like, we're doing gourmet food. But I don't even know what the difference between, just organic and gourmet. I guess gourmet is just upper class, a higher class type of food. But it pretty much was just like an organic food store. And I worked as a deli clerk. So essentially what I did was you know how there's like deli markets in Publix, and I'm pretty sure there's in Whole Foods. There's always like this station where there's different types of meat, there's different types of food, and then there's this guy that serves the food. You say, oh yeah, I want chicken, I want turkey, I want wings. I was that guy for the Fresh Market, and I got paid $9 an hour. And initially, I don't want to make this a long story, but initially I was telling people from the jump, like during the interview, I told them, okay, I have T-mal, and essentially this is some type of disease that make me smell bad. So if you do smell me, make sure you inform me, because I don't know exactly what foods are making me smell bad. I said that to the manager and to the workers the people I had to work with. Oh, I have T-mal. Do I smell bad? If I do smell bad, please inform me that I do smell bad so I can know for a fact if I do or do not smell bad. I've been saying that shit, so I felt like if I informed people of this odor, they would treat me better. But to make a long story short, that's not the case. Nonetheless, they still talked behind my back. They still insulted me, made comments about me, treated me like I'm an anathema, treated me like I had, what's that thing within the Bible where, they had like some type of skin disease, or what was that? What's that called? It's not called lupus. I forgot what it was called because I haven't read the Bible in a long time. But they treated me like I just had this terrible disease, and they just wanted to stay away from me. And it really bothered me to the point of, to the point of tears. There was a moment I could remember distinctly where I was just so sad. I was just so sad because I tried so hard to do everything I can. I was doing things like, I was working out 2 times a day to sweat out the odor. I was eating, fruits and shit like that. But nonetheless, it just stopped working. And I think it was simply because I got too comfortable, and then I started eating meat, and I started eating other foods. And then I thought to myself, okay, let me try to cleanse myself and just start eating vegetables or fruits again. But it didn't really work at all. It didn't work at all. No matter how much fruits I ate, no matter how much I exercised, the odor was still present when I was around people. The comments still were made. And I was in a very emotional state. I remember vividly, I was in a very emotional state where I was about to break down crying. And one of the coworkers asked me, oh, why are you so sad? And I think I said something to the effect like, oh, I'm sad because I have this disease that makes me smell bad, and I'm trying so hard to try to smell good, and it's not working, and it makes me just really sad. And I was about to tear up. And she did some very sneaky, conniving, annoying shit that was trying to convince me that I didn't smell bad. What she did was, she was saying, oh, you don't smell bad. See, let me do. She hugged me, but she acted like she sniffed me. But she turned her face in order to not actually smell me. So she did like this. See, I just sniffed you right there. You don't smell bad. I don't know what you're talking about. But that woman who made that comment or who tried to make me feel better was the main woman who was talking shit behind my back. Majority of them were. You know, hearing people say these smell like shit, and even working at a grocery store, you have to be around people, and you hear, you know, even the customers say, "Hey, he smells like shit," or something like that. Constantly getting up to go to an area just so you hear people make all these negative comments about you just slowly gets to you to the point that you're like, why the fuck am I here? This money's not even fucking worth it. In addition to that, I got in a car accident, so I wasn't able to use my car anymore. And I had to take public transportation. And that should be a topic in itself. Public transportation while having T-mal, fecal body odor, PATM is the worst. But that's going to be a separate topic. But what I was just saying was I had to take a bus, and then I had to take like a transit. It's like a subway, but it's up top. Like you have to travel up top to do the transit thing. And it was the worst. It was the worst. It got worse and worse. I had to take the bus, and then I had to get the transit, and then I had to go to the location. So I'm getting comments from the bus. I'm getting comments from the transit. I have to get off the transit, go to work to get more comments, and it slowly debilitates your mental strength. I was already having a conversation or made a topic about are we soft, and in that video I was talking about having mental strength. That slowly just erodes your mental strength to the point that there was just one point where I was like, okay, if I hear one more motherfucker make a comment, I'm walking out this bitch, right? And to make a long story short, I was already prepped to walk out because I already knew motherfuckers were going to say anything. So when I got inside the grocery store, I was like, my demeanor was like, man, fuck this shit. My mood was just so focused because it was so focused on just like blocking everybody out because I realized I don't really need this job. And once I got into the deli area, and I heard someone make a comment or, make some little joke, I was like, man, fuck this, right? I didn't say fuck this out loud, but I just grabbed my gloves, because you have to put on gloves. Grabbed my gloves, took those motherfuckers off, went back upstairs, put on my regular clothes, and just bounced. Like, fuck that shit. And never came back. Well, technically I did. I did come back. I did come back to get my check. But after I collected my check, I never came back. And I just feel like, damn, I feel like a lot of people had those similar situations. I remember in the comments reading, someone made a comment saying that, yeah, I was talking about, I think this was like in vlog number 19. She made a comment saying, oh, maybe you should do like overnight job. And then I asked her, are you doing the same thing? Are you having a job overnight? And I think she said something to the effect that she's trying to look for a job overnight, but she's left so many jobs that a lot of people just look at her resume and throw it in the trash. Which goes to another topic which would be very interesting is how long have you ever held a job? But let's not get into that. I just wanted to highlight that comment simply to say, like, it is very hard for us to stick to a job simply because after a while you just get tired of shit, and especially if you don't know what's going on with your body, and you don't know how to reduce it, or you tried everything and it didn't reduce it or eliminate it, you're just gonna get fucking tired. And I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to ask the question, how many times have you ever walked off a job? And if we're not even talking about jobs, I know there's some people who in high school are watching this, or in college. Have you ever considered walking off or just quitting school, or just quitting school, like high school or college? If you are actually in high school, I strongly recommend staying in high school, because if you do not have a GED, it is very hard to find employment. It's hard to find employment enough when you do have a GED and when you do have some college, like an associate's degree. But if you have no high school, you don't have a high school diploma or GED, it's going to be really even more difficult to live a somewhat successful life. But I just wanted to make it short, pose the question, how many times have you ever walked off a job? Salute. Thanks for watching. The end.